Why are Turkey and China supplying high-tech military equipment to Bangladesh with unconditional deals and licensed production? Bangladesh has been rapidly modernizing its armed forces, seeking advanced defense technologies to address regional security challenges, enhance self-reliance, and reduce dependence on traditional suppliers like Russia and the US. Both Turkey and China have emerged as key partners, offering high-tech military equipment with flexible terms, including technology transfers and licensed production. But why are Ankara and Beijing so keen to supply Bangladesh with advanced weaponry under such favorable conditions? The motivations are a mix of geopolitical strategy, economic gains, and long-term defense partnerships. 1. Geopolitical influence in South Asia. China's strategic interests in Bangladesh. China views Bangladesh as a crucial partner in its Belt and Road Initiative (BRIC) given the country's strategic location between South and Southeast Asia. By supplying advanced military technology, Beijing aims to counterbalance India's dominance. Bangladesh has traditionally relied on India for some defense needs, but China's unconditional arms deals allow Dhaka to diversify its sources, reducing New Delhi's leverage. Secure naval and economic interests. Bangladesh's proximity to the Bay of Bengal is vital for China's string of pearls strategy, which seeks to establish military and commercial footholds across the Indian Ocean. Strengthen political ties. Military cooperation deepens diplomatic relations, ensuring Bangladesh remains aligned with China on key issues, e.g., supporting Beijing's stance on Taiwan and the South China Sea. Examples of Chinese military exports to Bangladesh. Type 056 corvette warships built in China and Bangladesh. VT-5 light tanks suitable for Bangladesh's riverine terrain. Wing Long 2 drones for surveillance and strike capabilities. Turkey's growing role in Bangladesh's defense sector. Turkey, under President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's leadership, has been expanding its influence in the Muslim world, and Bangladesh, a majority Muslim nation, is a key market. Turkey's interests include strengthening defense ties with Muslim nations. By supplying Bangladesh with high-tech weapons, Turkey positions itself as a reliable alternative to Western and Russian suppliers. Countering Western arms restrictions. Unlike the US and EU, Turkey imposes fewer political conditions, making its defense exports more attractive. Gaining a foothold in South Asia. Turkey's defense partnerships with Bangladesh help it compete with China and India in the region. Examples of Turkish military exports to Bangladesh. Bayraktar TB2 drones used for border surveillance and counter-terrorism. T-155 Fertina howitzers co-produced in Bangladesh. Military electronics and naval systems. Aselsan radars, missile defense tech. 2. Economic benefits. Expanding defense markets. China's defense industry growth through exports. China's state-owned defense firms Norinco, AVIC, CETC are aggressively expanding into global markets. Bangladesh is a key customer because licensed production deals. Bangladesh assembles Chinese weapons locally, e.g., tanks, missiles, boosting its domestic industry while providing China with long-term revenue. Turkey's ambition to become a top defense exporter. Turkey's defense industry has grown rapidly, with companies like Baykar, ASELSAN, and Roketsan** seeking new markets. Bangladesh offers a growing defense budget. Dhaka's military spending is increasing, creating opportunities for Turkish firms. Joint production opportunities. Turkey allows Bangladesh to manufacture some systems locally, e.g., drones, artillery, ensuring repeat business. 3. Technology transfer and local production. A win-win for Bangladesh. Unlike Western suppliers, which often restrict technology sharing, Turkey and China allow Bangladesh to produce certain weapons domestically. This benefits Dhaka by enhancing self-reliance, reducing dependence on foreign imports, boosting local industry, creating jobs and technical expertise, ensuring supply chain security, avoiding sanctions or embargo risks. Examples of licensed production in Bangladesh. Chinese VT-5 tanks assembled locally. Turkish T-155 howitzers joint production. Future drone manufacturing. Discussions underway for Bayraktar TB2 production. 4. Countering Western influence and sanctions. Both Turkey and China face US and EU sanctions, e.g., Turkey's CAATSA penalties for buying Russian S-400s, China's tech export restrictions. By strengthening ties with Bangladesh, they reduce reliance on Western markets, create alternative defense alliances, undermine US-EU arms dominance in South Asia. Conclusion: a strategic shift in Bangladesh's defense partnerships. Bangladesh's growing defense ties with Turkey and China reflect a broader trend. Emerging powers are reshaping the global arms trade by offering high-tech weapons with fewer restrictions. For Dhaka, this means checkmark access to advanced military tech at lower costs. Checkmark greater strategic autonomy from India and the West. Checkmark domestic defense industry growth through licensed production. For Turkey and China, Bangladesh is a strategic customer that helps them expand influence in South Asia, counter Western dominance, and secure long-term economic benefits. As Bangladesh continues its military modernization, we can expect even deeper defense cooperation with these two rising arms exporters. Final thought: the era of Western monopoly over advanced. What is HQ-22 and FK-3 air defense system? Imagine a missile soaring through the sky at supersonic speed, locked onto a threat from hundreds of kilometers away. That's not science fiction anymore. Welcome to the world of advanced air defense, where nations like China are producing some of the most formidable systems in modern warfare. Today, we explore two such systems: the HQ-22 and its export version, the FK-3, powerful air defense systems that are transforming the defense capabilities of countries like Bangladesh, Serbia, and Myanmar. What is HQ-22? The HQ-22, short for HongQi 22, meaning Red Banner 22, is a medium to long-range surface-to-air missile system developed by China's state-owned China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation (CASIC). It was first revealed to the public in 2016, but development likely started in the late 2000s. Designed as a more modern alternative to the HQ-12, the HQ-22 is sometimes described as a hybrid of the Russian S-300 and the American Patriot systems, but at a much lower cost. The system is designed to detect, track, and destroy a wide variety of aerial targets, including fighter jets, cruise missiles, helicopters, unmanned aerial vehicles (UAVs), ballistic missiles in terminal phase to a limited extent. Technical specifications of HQ-22. Let's look at the key features and specifications of the HQ-22. Range: up to 170 kilometers. Altitude coverage: 50 meters to 27 kilometers. Speed: Mach 6, 6 times the speed of sound. Guidance system: semi-active radar homing with a radar command link. Missile length: approximately 7 meters. Warhead: high explosive fragmentation. Each HQ-22 battery typically includes radar vehicle, for 360-degree target tracking and engagement. Command vehicle, for data fusion and fire control. Launch vehicles, each armed with 4 missiles. Transport and loading trucks. It uses a solid fuel missile and can simultaneously track multiple targets, engaging up to 6 at once in many configurations. Now, what is the FK-3? The FK-3 is the export variant of the HQ-22. It shares most of the same features, but with some limitations in range and performance, in line with China's export control policies. Key differences include maximum range, around 100 to 120 kilometers. Altitude ceiling, up to 20 kilometers lower than HQ-22. Reduced jamming resistance compared to domestic version. Simplified radar system. But make no mistake, the FK-3 is still a very powerful system that can engage modern 4th and even 5th generation aircraft, depending on operator capability. Why are these systems important? In the era of high-speed jets, drones, and precision-guided missiles, air defense is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Systems like HQ-22 and FK-3 allow countries to deter aerial threats from hostile neighbors, protect strategic infrastructure, like power plants, air bases, and command centers, establish no-fly zones during conflict, maintain air superiority without needing an expensive air force. These systems are mobile, meaning they can be repositioned rapidly depending on battlefield needs. That gives them a tactical edge over older, static systems like the American MIM-23 Hawk. Who's using them? Let's talk about the international users of these systems. 1. China. Naturally, China's People's Liberation Army uses the HQ-22 as part of its layered air defense network, alongside HQ-9 and HQ-16. 2. Serbia. In 2022, Serbia became the first European country to acquire the Fk-3 system. Delivered via Chinese military transport aircraft, this deal showed China's growing arms influence in Europe. 3. Myanmar. Reportedly received the Fk-3 to bolster its air defense amid domestic instability and regional tensions. 4. Bangladesh. Signed a $400 million deal with China in recent years for air defense systems, including the Fk-3, to protect its expanding military infrastructure and coastal regions. 5. Pakistan. Though more focused on HQ-9 and Li-80, China is believed to have offered the Fk-3 to Pakistan for supplementary air coverage. How does it compare other systems? How do the HQ-22 and Fk-3 stack up against global competitors? These. S-300, S-400, Russia. The S-300 has a longer range, but the HQ-22 is more modern in terms of digital radar and mobility. S-400 still reigns supreme in range and multi-target engagement. These. Patriot PAC-3, USA. The Patriot has better performance and combat-proven reliability, but it's extremely expensive. HQ-22 offers 85% capability at a fraction of the cost. These. Barak 8, Israel, India. Barak 8 is more focused on shorter-range naval threats, while HQ-22 provides longer-range land-based protection. Overall, the HQ-22 and Fk-3 sit comfortably between high-end systems and legacy Cold War tech, giving them a unique edge in cost-effectiveness. Strategic implications. The growing export of Chinese air defense systems tells us a lot about global geopolitics. Shift in defense markets. Countries that previously depended on Russian or Western arms are now buying Chinese systems. Why? Lower cost, fewer political strings attached, rapid delivery timelines, Chinese influence. With every radar station and missile launcher China sells, it also exports training programs, logistical chains, and influence. Regional arms race. For South Asia, the induction of Fk-3 in Bangladesh might worry India, especially when combined with other high-tech weapons like Chinese submarines, Turkish drones, and soon-to-arrive MLRS systems. Bangladesh and the Fk-3. Let's talk specifically about Bangladesh. In 2021, reports confirmed that Bangladesh had signed a contract with China to buy air defense missile systems under a government-to-government deal. The Fk-3 system was likely chosen because it fits Bangladesh's defense budget, offers 360-degree coverage of air threats, enhances protection of Chattogram Port, Dhaka, and key military bases, builds capacity for joint air-land operations. Moreover, it complements other systems like Orlikon GDF anti-aircraft guns, FM-90 short-range systems, radar and EW infrastructure built with help from China and the UK. Challenges and limitations. Despite its power, the Fk-3 is not without weaknesses. Jamming vulnerability. Less robust than Western systems in electronic warfare environments. Limited combat experience. Hasn't been tested in real-world wars like the Patriot or Iron Dome. Dependence on China. Spare parts, training, and upgrades all flow through Beijing. Still, for countries looking to boost defense without spending billions, the Fk-3 is more than enough to deter air aggression. Conclusion. In a world where drones are redefining warfare and air supremacy determines victory, air defense systems like the HQ-22 and Fk-3 are game changers. Which represent China's rise as a global defense exporter, the need for cost-effective alternatives, and the growing trend of multi-layered, mobile defense networks. As countries like Bangladesh continue to modernize their military, systems like the Fk-3 will play a critical role in securing airspace, deterring aggression, and asserting strategic independence. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into global defense technology.